So, if you want to pick holes with this finale, you can. You can totally bring up the fact that it looked like they were going to do something with Takuto's brother, whether you're like me, you thought it was going to be a villain or not, and they didn't. You can bring up the fact that it sort of feels weird we never brought up anything with Azelle again, and yeah, or any of the horrible things the Tatsunagi Corporation did to these three women. You could bring up issues with the pacing. You could bring up issues with how little fights we felt like we got to see, how little we got to see of new cards be used. You could bring up how this finale can feel a little shallow because it's not really a finale, because we're getting the Shin prequel in 2 weeks, in which case we're going to see more Masaki, and it wouldn't shock me if Aichi and Kai cameo in that. But then, like, in February, it's more or less back to G, because, like, come on, people, the calendar shows Gear Chronicle and 2 mystery clans. We all know what's gonna happen. But as much as all that is very true, I cannot help the fact that I spent this whole episode with just this big smile on my face. I really liked this finale because it was focused. It wasn't about saving the world. It wasn't about bringing Vanguard to the world. It was just about a bunch of kids who just want their friend back and how they get her back, and kind of those bonds that happen when you do what the whole show's been about. You make the choice yourself to do something. That is what this ultimately amounted to, and it was so sweet and heartfelt that I couldn't help but just love it from the minute it started. So yeah, that's it. V-Series worked out, and this finale exemplifies that, because the minute they all start noticing with each other, like, hey, you've got that on your arm, and hey, why'd you cheer for me, and hey, you want to join our card fight club, blah, 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 all of that just has this really special, happy, fuzzy feeling to it. Like, just this idea that this concept of being friends with Korin has just been gnawing at the back of everyone's heads the whole time, and it just gets to come out in this way that is fun and sweet and doesn't like bog itself down in exposition. They totally could have botched this by making everything about the lore and making everything about, bringing up everything with MLB and all that, and Brant and Link Joker. It's a good thing they didn't, because I feel like if they did at any point, it would have taken away from the real emotion of the story, because then everyone's going to be like, hey, remember that time Aichi fought aliens? But no, like, the focus is Korin and wanting to be friends with Korin, and that's what makes it important, and that's what makes it fun to watch. And that fight, yeah, we missed the beginning, but it is fun to see my boy Azelle close things out. It's a good expectation subversion, because it's not Aichi wins and that somehow frees everybody or whatever. It's, no, Korin wins and she gets to join the card fight club, and that makes everyone remember the first time she joined the card fight club, even if they've still got to just work the memories out in their own heads. But I love the sort of just kind of like when Korin wins, it's such a happy moment. Like that idea that she gets to have her life back. She gets her friends back. She has some semblance of freedom. She's not just the Tatsunagi Corporation's pawn anymore. I mean, legally she is, because she has to be an idol for them, where she'll most likely spend a life pretty much just having to always just be a perfect person, so that way she can be marketed and just like treated like an object. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about children's card games. No, but like, she wins the fight, and they get to go back, and I love the party scene. I really shockingly do. First up, if you're a yaoi shipper, you get your material. But no, I like the idea that Aichi, Kai, Ren, Ibuki, they just take this minute to kind of like just reminisce about how far they've come and with each other. And it's a nice scene that reminds us of what ultimately was the best thing about V-Series, and that's just the characters interacting with each other and talking to each other and having fun with each other. And then we get the funnest part of the whole thing when they get to be with Korin again in the room, and it's nice and it's sweet, and like, I don't know how many times I can repeat this, but I kind of want to. I do love that Suiko and Rekka show up and they actually serve a purpose. Like, they do, push things forward, and they do enforce the idea that no, you've been wanting to be around these people and we're gonna help you because it's a nice happy finale, so let's do it. You can also make the argument Takuto's brother maybe pushed for this because he seemed very in favor of everyone getting to be happy. Oh no, that scene was pretty cute and fun. And everything with the scrunchie was nice. I really like that. I sort of get the impression everyone will get their memories back as time goes on, but who cares? We don't need to see that. And then Korin's back at the school, and again, I just can't help but smile. And I love the joke of Korin's all happy, and everyone's like, "Girl, you supposed to be tsundere. What you doing?" That was so cute. It's like it was. And then we get our opening credits at the end. Don't know what that was about. But then we get an end credit scene, and it's this insanely, perfectly idealistic, schmaltzy, happy, just scenic, perfect, everyone together, the student council's there, the crazy guy's there, and everyone's having fun, and you're just like, no, this is how it should be. This is what it was all ultimately about. It's just about a bunch of kids who have their own drama and their own issues and their own problems. And ultimately, what the point of this show is, they just want friends, and they want goals, and they want to feel like they can strive for something. It just happens that this card game is what did it. And also that card game was linked to an alien conspiracy, but we don't talk about that. So then we get our final scene, Korin and crew going back to, I guess, Singapore? I actually forgot they were all from another country. I don't know if they've ever made an important deal of that, ever. But they're gone, and yeah, you can make the argument that's a little corny. Also, this had 5 endings. Like, I kept feeling like it was supposed to cut here, but they realized they still had more episode to make, so they just kept making endings. But I'm a little okay with it because they're all happy and they're nice. But then we, of course, get our big finale. They say goodbye to Korin at the airport, and it's like, we'll always be friends, we'll always have Vanguard, no matter where we are in the world, or no matter how your corporate overlords are abusing you and using you to sell, like, products, and there's probably, like, creepy fan art of you on the internet from your stalkers. I have issues with idol culture. Anyways, so then Korin and crew leaves, and our final shot is of a new picture with everyone together, the members of the Card Fight Club, ending it off with Korin's little final line, and yeah, I thought that was really good. Like, just end it on all the perfect happy notes, because the Shin prequel will probably be miserable. So yeah, that was Card Fight Vanguard V-Series. It is fun, it is enjoyable, it is lovable, it is charming. It's kind of everything you just want out of a card game anime. I don't need all this world is constantly at stake, because when we got it, it sucked. I just want, like, kids playing card games and learning about each other and having fun, because that's kind of reality. And I thought this time around they tried to keep Card Fight Vanguard a bit more realistic, and I think it worked. And ultimately, if you guys are wondering kind of what to think about Card Fight Vanguard V-Series, because a lot of people I know are a little bit split on some of the execution of things, the way I see it, and this is my personal opinion, with any sort of TV show, movie, comic, any sort of media you consume, as much as we want to sit here and talk for hours about technicals, about the plot, the execution, the animation, the this, the that, and don't get me wrong, I love talking about that stuff. What ultimately matters is, did the emotion work for you? Did you feel something? Did you care about something? Because in my opinion, if something can elicit an emotional response, then it worked and it did its job. And that's what I think it should do. And for me, yeah, I really got into this story and these characters. Will it continue on? Who knows? But for right now, I'm incredibly glad I watched the Card Fight Vanguard reboot and that they did what they did with it. So yeah, tell me what you think about Card Fight Vanguard V-Series below, this finale, would you have changed anything? How are you excited for what comes next? Tell me about all that below. And last but not least, the Vanguard question of the week. So, it's a good thing we're taking a week off from episodes, because next Saturday I will be attending Pro Play Games Philly. I will be doing Yu-Gi-Oh! On Saturday, and if I don't make day 2, which I probably won't, those events are pretty big, and I've never been to one like this. If I don't make day 2, I will be doing Vanguard on Sunday, hopefully seeing if I could get double invite for PPG Nats in January. And as of right now, I'm pretty certain I'm going to go with Dimension Police. I think it's a good medical. I think it's a good Force clan, considering Aquaforce is pretty popular here in the tri-state area. So, but do you think it's a good choice? What do you think will be at this event? What do you think will be the big things? What can shine through despite 3 new decks coming out that all are very powerful in their own right? Tell me about that below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me in the future as Cardfight Vanguard goes in some interesting new directions.